Okay, so let me just bring this up here. Okay, so Kamala is a Gemini rising. This really bugs me. How can I pull up a chart that I had? I have a bunch of Kanye West, and I'm mad. I was looking at LA because there was an earthquake this morning. And for some reason, it saved like 10,000 LA charts, okay? Okay, whatever. Okay, sorry. This won't happen again, but I'll just tell you. Kamala, let me remove this actually. Okay, so Kamala's T-square. So Jupiter in Gemini is in her first house, okay? Let me actually pretend this is her chart. We'll go to a Gemini rising, okay? Jupiter in Gemini is in her first house. And there is a need of focus, beginnings, her identity, all this. What is this saying? Hold on, let me look at my notes. She needs to focus on herself. Oh, because that's the apex, right? And there's some beginnings, her identity. There's some challenges, maybe with the fear and limitations, with government secrets, secret old man, okay? Because this is happening in her 10th house, old man, Saturn and old man and secrets, and her past relationships, out of the blue support. You guys, this T square already has been causing a problem for her, okay? She paid for people to support her, which is this Venus, and it's not working. And on the internet, okay, she paid for people, influencers, to help discuss things with her. And on her chart, this is on top of Uranus, okay? So, and it's just not working. So Venus and Virgo is on top of her Uranus and Virgo, which is about disruptions, is also about the internet. And the influencers are like, she's trying to pay us to talk and we're not doing it. It's so interesting because I would think if it was someone else, they would do it. And I'm not saying because she's a woman, it's just that the sky and, the planets in the sky, it did not work for her. Okay. But there's some conflict in here and there's some restrictions. And it's like, you tried to keep this hidden, but we are putting this on blast. Okay. That is what's happening now. Pluto is in Virgo on her chart too. Transformational power. Pluto and Virgo is associated with deep transformation and rebirth. And then that Venus, she has a Venus in Virgo too, and Venus is on top of that. So that is her core values. It's in the 4th house of emotions and foundation. So when you have all this connected, there's an emphasis on personal and family values, or maybe something with her home. But this is all fitting for LA, for America, right? All this 4th house energy, these placements she has in the 4th house. Pluto is in the sign Virgo in the 4th house. Her Uranus is in the sign Virgo in the 4th house. She has Venus in the sign Virgo in the 4th house. And this is squaring Saturn, the government, the limits, the fears, is all opposing. And there's a lot of information that's squaring it. Okay. So I'm wondering if there is going to be something discussed, something that comes out, Pluto with the secrets of power. I wonder if something's going to come out. We already had the secret emails come out of her trying to pay stuff. Venus does represent your support and you paying for stuff. Emphasis on personal and family values versus her abstract seriousness regarding her image. She already been having that problem. Okay. You guys, I'm going to bring out Megan Thee Stallion and she going to twerk. And the people are like, what kind of, so that already happened. But, Virgo energy also is very clear. And so the Venus is support. So clear support potential for transformation change, not working with the secret limitations that could be happening, innovative approaches to domestic issues. And I would think the domestic issues of what she had in the past, because the 4th house can represent past and could represent her sexual past also, because Pluto is, power of sex too. Okay. Attention to details in her campaign strategy could be causing problems. Challenges with sudden changes, balancing public and private life, the public versus the private. Okay. Strength in facing adversity, focus on service and improvement, potential for radical shifts in public perception. Okay. Now I have here old men reading her public image. old men saying things on blast about her public image or her past versus relationships in the past stands out here for me. Okay, so let me read my notes. Okay, old men reading her public image versus her relationships in the past stands out here for me. So let's see if she gets bigger with the T square and it's all over the news regarding how people see her. What did I mean by that? Okay, so something here with the restrictions. I think this is old man and his secret love affairs. Okay, I'm just telling you what I think it means. It also means limitations. It also means government and secrets. It also means fears. It also means borders and boundaries. Yeah, and old men. Could represent Trump, okay, who's moving in secret or has some hidden agenda. And this is not working with her support and how she's supported. Now, she has Pluto in here. She has Pluto on her chart, and that's in the sign Virgo. She has Uranus in her chart. That's in the sign Virgo. Uranus is unexpected things. Uranus also represents social media. It also represents the internet. It also represents upheaval, sudden changes, sudden surprises. Okay. Conjunct that Pluto in Virgo. Her Pluto in Virgo is power, obsession with power. This could be her obsession of power, or yeah, it will be hers, not Donald Trump's. Okay. Yeah, so there's something there in support. Okay, and it's going to challenge the news and something's going to be said, I think. Let's see if it's not already. Okay. What else do we have on the 18th? The Cazimi. Now we're in the we're a day before the national convention, you guys. Okay, so we're the day before the national convention, and the Cazimi is going to conjunct her Mars and Leo in the third house. So oh, I gotta go back to, let me see, Mercury, no, Gemini. Oh, what am I doing? Let me go back. Okay, so the Cazimi here is in her third house, and it's conjunct her Mars in the third house. So there's clarity and aggression here. It's going to work really good with her. She's going to be very assertive. She's going to be very powerful. There's leadership and local community kind of energy. Is she confronting everyone regarding the T square? Like, look at here, y'all not going to talk about my sexual past. Is that happening? Defining her leadership and identity could be happening. This is a day before, but this is going to follow on to the next day. There's assertiveness, aggression. Yeah, so could be very positive, but with that Mars, it could be very aggressive. Okay, like she could be overconfident. But I think there's like a aha moment or clarity with how she needs to achieve things regarding this leadership and presidency. Okay, so she has that. This Cazimi is also going to sextile her ascendant and her north node that's in her first house in the sign Gemini, and the aha moment, the aha, the clarity. Okay, aha is not even a word. But there's assertiveness with her, her image and her what people think of her, right? Yeah, and that's going to work really well if she knows how to work it, with her originality and her being a leader and her speaking and her being polarizing. Yeah, it's going to work really well for her if she works with that positivity. Okay, let me see. Sextile her ascendant and her north node. Oh, her life purpose too, and her destiny, and a focus on some future growth. Let's see how this works out with her. This is the day before. It's very positive for her. Alignment of communication with her life purpose, enhanced public persona, opportunities for effective messaging, boosting confidence, positive public perception, networking is going to be great for her, strategic planning, clarity, increased adaptability and flexibility. Okay, all gonna work great for her. What else? Now, this is not working great for her. Now, these Cazimis here is going to square her Jupiter, which is sitting right here in a sign Taurus. And that's the planet of luck. Not all Jupiter aspects that are negative actually, but there could be some conflict with her public persona versus what she believes on the inside. Confidence leading to some missteps, struggle with unconscious fears and insecurities. Maybe there's some public scrutinies that could be happening, or it could be really positive. This Cazimi can make it really big and bring her some more financial backing. Yeah, it could happen that because Jupiter is positive. Okay, challenges with misunderstandings. What else do we have? could be some internal things. We may not see it because Jupiter is in that 12th house. So, or something with the ending. Maybe she can't really talk about Biden ending. Maybe she has a problem with that. Okay. Cazimi is going to oppose this. Cazimi here is going to oppose her Saturn in the sign Aquarius, which is really sitting right here in this 9th house. Okay. And Saturn is about discipline, right? And discipline and structure in her beliefs and challenges with expansion, right? She does have some limits with how much she can expand, and maybe because she is a female, right? But there's conflict between her self-expression and philosophical constraints, tension between creativity and discipline, struggles with authority and restriction, difficulty with complex ideas, balancing personal belief with the collective ideas, challenges in academic or legal pursuits. I don't think it will be anything legal, but I got to tell you all the meanings because you never know. You never know. Now, this full moon in Aquarius is going to happen in this 9th house here, and it's going to be on top of, because it's 27 degrees, and her Saturn in Aquarius is 29 degrees. So this full moon is going to move here and it's going to be sitting right on top of her Saturn. So there is highlighting her seriousness and the government of being different. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be, it's a great time to start that Democratic Party because that's very positive. But the 9th house could represent mistrusting everything that she can't see, rejects anything that seems unfamiliar. It's like, even though she has that Aquarius energy, that Saturn in the 9th house makes her very close-minded. It could make her close-minded, but very serious also about her philosophy too, or higher learning or legal matters, right? But being different legally, I do still want everyone to understand that I think that she is going to go to the Supreme Court. She gets bigger and bigger and bigger as her time goes on. So, nothing but positive things about her. Doesn't mean I support her. I'm just telling you what the stars are saying. Okay. Let me see. Reevaluation and beliefs and philosophies. Focus on long-term goals and responsibilities. With this Aquarius sitting on top of that Saturn, responsibility towards collective ideas, confronting limitations in knowledge or beliefs, emphasis on discipline and structure in learning. Again, it could be some law things. This also could represent travel, but or publishing on a big stage, which I do think increase awareness on social and global issues. Okay. Could be very positive for her. Conjunctions are good and bad, but they are very strong. So we will witness that. We will see that. That will be on a big stage, whatever that aspect is, that government or serious or restrictions or fear and being different with the Aquarius and the moon highlighting it. Okay. That full moon is putting it on blast with emotions. Aquarius full moon also will trine her sun in Libra. Her sun in Libra is sitting over here, and Sun in Libra is conjunct Mercury in Scorpio, and they're sitting right here. So the sun is working really good with this aspect. So her emotions and how she achieved things and her ego, it all works great. Trine is very, very positive. Sun in Libra is relationships and harmony and law too. So that's going to work really well for her with the speaking, with deep, intense energy too. Okay. So yeah, but okay. So moving on. What else we have? Uranus in Taurus is on her Jupiter in the 12th house. This is not new. This has been here for a long time. You remember Trump got shot with this Uranus in Taurus. His was sitting up here. Hers is sitting in that 12th house of secrets. So, there is some secret moves that are unexpected, and it's on top of Jupiter, which is positive, hence why, and the sign of Taurus, which is her resources, hence why she had that this unexpected gift happen for her. But I just want you to be aware that this is sitting there. It's going to be sitting there for a good minute, and it's in the 12th house. The 12th house is about endings and letting goes with her resources, but it's sitting on her Jupiter, which is very abundant and positive. Okay. Yeah, but there is some isolation there. I just want you to know that. And expansion on compassion or service could be happening, or challenges with material or security values, letting go of old beliefs or patterns could be happening with her currently. Okay. Now, Biden has it over here with the health. Trump had it over here with unexpected with career. So I don't know what's good or bad, but her sitting on top of Jupiter actually makes it more positive for her. Last day of the convention, the sun will enter Virgo, and I will enter the sun in Virgo will enter the fourth house, which will be on top of her Venus in Virgo. That's great support. Will also be on top of her Pluto in Virgo, which is more power or more secrets coming out that we will see, which makes sense because she's running a campaign. What else is in there? Uranus, expect the unexpected, with some very detailed information. Okay. Yeah. So that is what we have for Kamala. Let's get into, do we have Tim's chart? No, we don't have Tim Watts chart. Anyway, he doesn't have a time. So the T square for him. Okay, let me just say that Kamala's T square looked most positive. Tim Watts doesn't look that good. Donald Trump doesn't look that good. Okay, so let me just get into, hold on, let me drink some. I did fresh squeeze lemon in my thing and I just had a seed. Okay, anyway. Kamala's probably didn't seem positive. I'm just very detailed with the information I'm giving you, but hers overall was positive, even though the T square is negative for everyone, just so you know. Now, this T square that happens on the 14th, Oh, let me, for all of us. Now, in regards to Mr. Waltz, that is her VP nomination, right? The Venus in Virgo is going to conjunct Pluto in Virgo for him. What is his ascendant? Oh, we don't have a time. Okay, so I'm just going to let you know that he could have some intensity with relationships and values. There could be a purging or rebirth, which could be happening. It's going to be on top of his Chiron and Pisces. There's going to be something related to that. So there's healing here. Now, this square, the Saturn is going to, where's my Saturn? Where's my Saturn? Saturn is going to be top of his Chiron. So there's some healing, right? And then Venus in Virgo is going to be on top of his Pluto of transformation and change in regard to work, okay? Which is already happening with Venus in Virgo. However, there's challenges. It's not getting along. These two planets are opposing each other. It's not getting along. So there's tension between expansion and discipline, challenging deep-seated wounds, intense relationship dynamics, wondering how him and his wife are going to be doing, or him and Kamala. Transformational growth, that could be positive. Feeling overwhelmed and pressured. He may have some overexertion. He may be really tired. A lot of emotional intensity regarding his relationship or his partnership. Difficulty in balancing expansion and being disciplined. He's having a challenge with this newness. Not saying that he's not good at it, but to each his own. It's hard being running a campaign. Okay, so the Aquarius full moon is going to conjunct his Saturn and Pisces. His Saturn and Pisces. Okay, so there's illuminating this responsibility and this seriousness of service that could be happening for him. Conjuncts are good and bad. Okay, so the good thing is that now you're being serious. The bad thing is that you have some fear or you have some limitations. Okay, emotional weight and maturity, challenges in balancing individuality versus a collective responsibility, reevaluating your spiritual practices, confronting your fears and insecurities. Okay. On my notes, I have high emotions about his secret responsibilities. Okay. Sometimes, well, not sometimes. You guys, I believe that politicians are in a cult. I believe there's someone over there being a puppeteer. And when I read the charts, I just see it and I can't unsee it. Saturn in Pisces is about the secret person in charge. Okay. And he has some fears with that. Okay. Yeah. And the Aquarius moon might bring that out even bigger for him. Okay, so Aquarius full moon is also going to be sextile his Jupiter in Aries. Now this is positive, right? That full moon in Aquarius, where would his Aquarius be? Where am I? That full moon in Aquarius is going to probably give him some opportunities and innovative growth. Okay, which we do see because now he's at this convention. He just has to work with it. Now the Cazimi is opposing his Saturn. Cazimi, the announcement is limiting him and causing him some fear. We already brought up that he has some fear already, okay? So be aware of that. Tensions between the self-expression and responsibility. Challenges in communicating complex emotions. Struggling with authority and self-criticism. Will he be able to give great speeches? Let's see. Balancing creativity with discipline. Confronting fears around self-expression. People have speech writers. So let's see. Cazimi, this is also not good. The Cazimi is going to square Neptune, his Neptune in Scorpio. So again, some secrets may be highlighted, maybe not. The Cazimi could make him have some clarity with things that he's very unsure about, or yeah, but the square is tension. Okay, so there's some confusion, some miscommunication, challenges and disguising things versus reality versus fantasy, looking at things through a rose-colored lens, kind of energy, potential for deception and self-deception, emotionally sensitive and vulnerable. So he's not having such a great time, because also the Cazimi is going to square his Venus. We're talking about Tim Watts. Is going to square his Venus of support, and he gets support through talking or through changes. And I did a video on him, so if you guys want to look at his chart, and I pulled a lot of cards on him. But this aha moment, this clarity, is not working with his support and what he naturally attracts. And he attracts a bunch of different things, but it's squaring it. There's challenge here. So it makes me think that the words are not being the greatest about him. Conflicts with social interaction, difficulty in balancing boldness and with flexibility. Is he being stubborn? Does he not like to change? I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about Donald Trump. And I don't have his chart either. So that is the only chart I have is JD Vance. Annoying. Anyway, okay, but let's talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't seem like he was having the best. Okay, he actually seemed like he had the worst. Kamala was great, fine. Tim Watts was Donald Trump is the worst. Okay, his T square. What is he? He's a Leo rising. So let me just go to Leo rising. 1 second. And I'm just doing kind of like the week and a little bit after the Democratic Party. But this week, this T square, and the T square is in Gemini. He's great with Gemini energy. He's like, oh, I can talk your ear off, right? He has all that energy in his 11th house, and that is going to square, remember, the Saturn and Venus. So it's squaring these two things. Now, in regards to his chart, let me see. Positive side, major drive with its party, luck and goals, unexpected changes and news announcements, emails, words. Is conjunct his Uranus in Gemini. So he likes this out of the blue, saying these speeches and speaking off the cuff. When he has the speeches at his conventional party, he didn't read what was on the thing. Of course, he has Uranus and Gemini in 11th house. Okay, so he's like, I'm not here for that. I'm not reading that teleprompter. I'm going to say what I want to say. Okay, now that's the positive side. Now the negative side, right? Because the conjunctions are going to bad. On the negative side, Jupiter in 20 degrees in Scorpio. Jupiter is retrograding on top of his body, future, and unexpected. And unexpected is not good. So Jupiter, I'm reading my notes, you guys. Jupiter, for some reason, 20 degrees is a Scorpio. So Jupiter, he has Jupiter in Gemini. Yes, he has Jupiter in Gemini, and it's sitting on top of this, but it's retrograding, and it's retrograding at 20 degrees, which is a Scorpio degree. Is retrograding with his future. And unexpected things is not good. On top of Trump's unexpected future and his body. Why do I have his body? Is it over here with Uranus? I thought he had Jupiter and Gemini. Saturn in Pisces challenges all the powers, restrictions that are secretive. He's just, I don't think he's, okay, it's opposing his finances. The Saturn of restriction and limits and fears and endings is opposing his finances, okay? His financial support, not working, okay? The 11th house themes, collective vision, building and engaging social network, focus on long-term goals and reform, right? Advocacy for social justice and humanitarian causes. He may be more of a humanitarian than we think, because he has a lot of 11th house. He has 11th house placements, right? So Jupiter conjunct that Mars in 11th house brings expansion over these things. Now the Saturn in the 8th house is, which is squaring, the Saturn in the 8th house is bringing discipline and and restriction and fear of death, which he did had a shooting. So it is bringing that. But intimacy, matters of life and death, I just discussed that. Karmic lessons and finances and responsibilities. That Venus in that second house is what he's attracting: finance, his self-worth. What is he worth? Is he worth anything? Do people value me? Desire for perfection. And the square is causing that tension between the two. And the focus is the 11th house, the people. So let's see how that works, and if he can balance the fear of dying with his resources and his support, because they're not working with each other, and speaking out. Okay, the challenges is, let me see, overexertion, impulsiveness, power struggles, and control issues, difficulty in balancing personal and shared needs. Okay, let me see if I have anything else in my notes. Okay. So that is what we have for his T-square. Now, Mercury, the Cazimi, is conjunct his Mars and Leo. So the Cazimi will be here. Remember, this planet moves here in his first house, is going to be on top of his ascendant and Mars. They're very close to each other in that first house. A lot of focus on the self. Me kind of attitude. Maybe he will be aware of some things, or be very confident, or be very assertive, become stronger than ever, very energetic, strong personal magnet. This is a positive one. People are going to be drawn to him. Focus on personal goals and ambitions. Okay. He could be overconfident. He already is. What else do we have? The Cazimi is going to be exact 26 degrees. And wait, the Cazimi is conjunct. This Cazimi is going to be right on top of his Mars, that aggression. 26 degrees is a Taurus degree of finances. Let's see if his finances get affected with this cockiness, or if he gets more with the cockiness. Remember, the Leo, I looked it up at 27 degrees. When it's in the Sembian symbol, you go up. And remember, that's new beginnings and new hopes. With his self-image. Makes me think, is he releasing? I keep thinking he's going to get rid of JD Vance, but let's see. I keep thinking there's a new hope, a new day, sacrifice to, let go of the past. Yeah, I'm thinking, is he going to get rid of, this is the 14th. Let's see. Maybe he has an aha moment where he's like, you know what? I don't need JD Vance. I'm going to change my person. So let's see. Now, the Aquarius full moon is going to oppose his Mars and Leo. Here's his Mars. The Aquarius full moon is going to oppose his Mars in Leo, which is in that first house. So tension between his personal desire and collective needs. See, this is all what that thing, that announcement is, right? Being detached emotionally too. What does the group want versus what I want? Heightened emotions and impulsive actions. Makes me think he's going to get rid of JD Vance. Okay. Challenges in balancing independence and social engagement, conflicts with leadership and group dynamics. Increase awareness in group dynamics too. Let me see what else. This full moon in Aquarius is going to be in here. Is going to square his MC, which is all about his public. Oops, sorry, I kicked you guys. So his career and his public image. With this Cazimi, which is also with this full moon, it's not going to be good for his career, or maybe his stability and security. What does that mean? High emotions challenging his image, illuminating negative impact on his career. See, it doesn't seem positive for him. Now, this full moon, the worst of full moon in his 7th house, the full moon is also, hold up, y'all, it's in his 7th house. The full moon in his 7th house means his open enemies, which also represents Kamala. The full moon in Aquarius represents Kamala. So she over here like la 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 la, and it's sitting over here. Well, it's really sitting over here, but you have this Pluto in Aquarius, which is about change and transformation. In Aquarius, which also is Kamala. Anyway, and I said in a video to also Obama, so check out some previous videos. I have the political playlist somewhere on my YouTube channel. But yes, but his open enemy, which is Kamala, is sitting over here in the 7th house, okay, and is not working with his career. This Democratic Party week is not going to work for him, okay. This full moon also is going to quick-cunks his Saturn. Where's his Pisces? Is this his Pisces? No. Why can't I see Pisces. Oh, the sun. I said the full moon. The sun in Leo is going to quincunx his Saturn. No, is it his Saturn? Oh, his Saturn in the 12th house. So he has Saturn in the 12th house and Venus in the 12th house in a sign Cancer. And the full moon is going to make things very uncomfortable. Do you know what the 12th house represents? It represents ending, it represents the secret enemies, emotions and climax of the secret support or secret limits or hidden enemies. Open enemies are the Democrats, where the full moon is, and somehow it is connected to his hidden enemies. Why is it connected to his hidden enemies, Daniel? I needed to look at his chart, making each other the open enemy together. Okay, what is in here again? Saturn. Saturn is in here. There's something here. Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius. Okay, it's the traditional ruler of Aquarius, and his Saturn is in the 12th house of hidden. I did a video on who shot him. You know, the Tupac song, Who Shot Me? I did a video on that. Look at that video. But his hidden enemies, I personally believe, is the Homeland Security. Yeah, and that also is dealing with the government and could also be representing Kamala if she becomes president. Yeah, so I have that in my notes. It's very interesting. But the quincunx is very uncomfortable. He doesn't feel secure. He feels insecure. That 12th house makes you very insecure. Emotional need for emotional adjustment and healing. Conflict between personal relationships and social ideas. Him thinking about death and him thinking about who shot me and who was secretly trying to kill me is still lingering on top of his head, you know. And he ain't trying to party. He really isn't. Yeah, so doesn't look that good for him. For JD Vance, I have his chart. Do I have his chart? Yeah, I got someone who is like, whatever. The least most important person in this group, but whatever. We got his chart, so there's something. So let me pull up what we have now. Hold up. Let me flip flop it. Okay, so oops. Actually, no, let's do this. Okay, so now we have JD Vance, right? And his T square, where is his Jupiter in Gemini? Jupiter in Gemini is happening in his 10th house of career. Okay, now it's squaring Saturn in the 7th house, his open enemies, and it is also squaring Venus in his first house of support. Okay, so let's see what I broke down and how it's going to be broken. Venus in the first house is attraction, your self-expression, focus on personal needs, right? Saturn in that 7th house is challenges with relationships, challenges and fears with your open enemies, restrictions with your open enemies. That Jupiter and Mars in that 10th house is about his ambition and his career and being overworked. Okay, so when you have this T square, the Jupiter in the 10th house and Saturn in the 7th house creates significant tensions between the desire for career success and responsibilities of challenges of relationships. Okay. Relationships with partners. His partner is Donald Trump. Also, there is Neptune sitting in that 7th house of partnerships. Is there an ending? Yeah, I keep throwing that out there. I'm just let y'all keep looking at that, okay? Conflict between personal desires and external responsibilities, challenges in maintaining harmony in relationships. Y'all keeps coming up. Strain in relationships, conflicts between self-expression and partnership. Partnership. I don't find that to be a coincidence. So let's see what the stars have to, how that plays out. Now the Cazimi is happening in his 12th house of endings. Is Donald Trump going to say, this is the end of our relationship? I'm sorry. Okay. There is clarity. There is an aha moment. Focus on hidden aspects. Focus on the end of a relationship. Yeah. So he does have that Venus sitting there. And it's going to happen, the 27 degrees, I think, in Leo. Yeah, so sitting on top of that, so the moon and Pluto and Libra in the 2nd house. Why did I bring that up? Why am I bringing that up? Let me see. Okay, Cazimi in the 12th house is going to conjunct his Venus in Leo. and is sextiling the moon in Libra and his Pluto, this Cazimi. Okay. The moon and Pluto in the 11th in Libra in the second house is a huge transformation in values. Okay. What he did value is changing, balancing emotional needs with financial stability. Introspection and healing in relationships. Again, the word relationship. Creative and spiritual inspiration. I don't know if that's happening for him, but I do think it's in balancing the hidden desires with practical needs, empowerment through emotional insight. I just want to tell you it all just in case what I'm saying isn't right, but I think I'm right. Okay. Let me see what else. Any other challenges here? The conjunction will bring some challenges. The confidence and the cockiness on top of the support could not be bringing him support. Okay. This Cazimi is going to square his Mars in Scorpio. Hoo-wee. Okay, him trying to achieve things in announcements too. Again, the announcement that their house is about speeches and announcements, and a person of power is giving the announcements. The Mars in Scorpio is about intense, driven communication, focus on verbal assertiveness, and then it's conjunct this IC. Look how close those two things are, which is about his roots or his home or America. Okay, and it's squaring this Cazimi. This huge announcement is squaring his drive regarding his home. Okay, I'm just gonna keep saying that. The full moon in Aquarius, he's actually got the worst one. He got it worse than Trump. So, in honor of the retrograde Mercury, I'm going to say JD Vance has it worse than Trump. Okay, so the full moon is in the sixth house. Full moon in the sixth house here in the sign Aquarius. Again, about his health, but mainly when we're talking about Biden, we're talking about the health. When we're talking about JD Vance, I'm going to say it's about work, but in case we can expect the unexpected, we'll say health. But the focus on work, and there is an enlightenment regarding his career and work. Now, this is more career, but we'll say work. Okay. Yeah. So what do we have here? His sixth house, and it's opposing his Venus in Leo. Venus in Leo is support as a president. And now this full moon is highlighting this work of health and endings. Yeah, I just think they're going to say it's the end for you. We need another VP. That's just what I think. But okay, we'll just say some other stuff. Challenging and balancing practicality with emotional fulfillment, revelation of hidden feelings and desires of a leader. Health and emotional well-being could be an issue. Opportunities for healing and integration. Increased self-awareness can also happen with this. Okay. Yes, and what else? We got one more with Mr. JD Vance. Now, the full moon in Aquarius again is in that sixth house. And remember, there's detachment with the Aquarius energy. It's not great in the moon. Okay. It's very cold. It's not really about emotions, it's more about logic. And Mars is in his fourth house here. And what is it doing? The full moon in Aquarius is going to square his IC and his Mars. Did I not say that already? Maybe something else was squaring. But that is the focus of his home, aka his homeland. The Mars is in his third house, though. Why does it say fourth house? Oh, but it is his IC, which is about his home. Okay. And the Mars is conjunct that, which is aggression. Okay. But the Mars is about speeches and talking, could be about his community, could be about his siblings, could be happening. But the IC is about his home, which could represent America. Okay. And the power of America and that Scorpio thing. Squaring. What's it squaring? The full moon in Aquarius is squaring that, squaring his home, squaring him trying to achieve things of power. Okay. So, yes, that is what we have. Let me pull a card. I'm going to pull a card for each one. Okay. We're going to first pull a card for Kamala. Okay. For Kamala with the Democratic Convention and with this week coming up, we have the death card. Now, the death card is not necessarily bad, you guys. Okay. It could be positive, but with Kamala this weekend, this Democratic Convention, there is a rebirth. We did talk about that. Oh, let me see. I have some comments here. Sorry. I wonder if Kamala Harris information is going to come out from her father. Ooh, with the Saturn. Saturn could represent father, sun could represent father. Let's see. Let's see what else we have. It is wild how many people are voting for her. Many of my family members who are Republicans are voting for her. I'm the only one not sure who to vote for. Yes. Well, and let's see how the voting process even happens, because that's a whole doozy. That's a whole nother video. But we'll just focus on the Democratic Party this week. So, but there is a rebirth, which we have with this Aquarius moon, and we have with this Cazimi. Big changes, time to move on, transformation, transitions, endings, letting go. This card is literally saying what I think the full moon or the Cazimi is saying. She is being reborn. So let's see what we have for Tim Watts. Is his name Tim Watts? Yeah, sometimes I just make up names. Yeah, it is. Tim Watts. Let's see what we have for him. Ooh, we have the Five of Pentacles. This guy's not being supported. They are not throwing money at him. What is he saying out in these streets? I don't pay attention to him, but it's financial loss. There is lack mindset. He's being negative. He is out there acting like doom and gloom, like he's on his own. Let's see how this week plays out with him. Are people not supporting him? Is he losing support? Is he thinking negative? Let's see. Let's see what Donald Trump has here. Oh, see, Donald Trump is no bueno too. He's over here, and this is the Five of Cups. He's focused on what he's lost and not what he has. He could be very still sad about him getting shot. But this is regret. This is failure. Ooh, regret. Regretting the choice of his VP. Y'all, why he's looking at these Five of Cups like, y'all, like, I don't like what I lost, and he's not looking at what he has. So, I want what they got over there. I'm just saying there's disappointment. He's being pessimistic. There's sadness. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then next we have Donald Trump. Oh, JD Vance. Let's see what we have for JD Vance. Just the real tea. Let's see. I'm going to mix these cards up real good. Real good. Okay. We want to really be sure. Come on, JD Vance. I should ask two questions. Is he going to replace JD Vance? This is a message. Okay. This is a Page of Cups. A message is coming regarding his relationship, because the Page of Cups represents relationships. Okay, but let's see the overall week for JD Vance. But there is a relationship. Oh, it's the sun. Sun is very positive and successful. It is positive. There is positivity, ultimate happiness. Maybe it also represents the truth. Yeah, I just want to see what I want to see, but I'll tell you everything. The sun is very positive. It's about being on stage. It's about the Leo. It's about being confident. It's about producing some hard work. At the same time, it's about the truth, highlighting the truth. And where is the sun? That Cazimi was doing a whole lot of messiness with the sun. Okay. Let me